From San Francisco, California, this is the Rock and Roll Geek Show.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Wednesday, August 9th, 2017, and it is 7:06 p.m. when I'm recording this episode number 10 of the Dog Days of Podcasting, where a whole bunch of podcast nerds attempt to do a show every day for the month of August, and I'm in day number 10. I was at work today. I was painting all day, and I got a text from friend of the show and friend of mine, Todd Cunningham. He said something to the effect of, I guess you heard about Ginger, right? If you're a Dog Days listener, you may not know who Ginger is, but if you're a regular Rock and Roll Geek friend of the show, you know who Ginger is. Ginger is one of the greatest songwriters of in my opinion, one of the greatest songwriters of our generation, and also, in my opinion, a true genius. And I actually had the pleasure of playing with Ginger several years ago down in L.A. He sent me a instant message on the Twitter and asked if I would be interested in doing some gigs with him. And I was blown away because the guy's been one of my rock heroes for a long time. The guy's just the greatest. If you don't know who Ginger is, Google it. Google Ginger Wildheart and listen to his music, whether you're a rock music fan or not. The guy is one of the most prolific guys and such a talented guy. Anyway, Todd Cunningham texted me today and said, I guess you heard about Ginger. And immediately, the first thing that came to my mind was, did Ginger commit suicide? Because he's been quite vocal about his battles with depression, and he had been talking after the guy from Lincoln Park killed himself. I saw him post some Twitter things and Facebook things and stuff, talking about people who say that suicide is a cowardly thing and is not cowardly, and it just made me think that maybe Ginger killed himself. Hold on, I need to take a sip of this fine Tecate. This is my third one of the day. I just opened it. Best one of the day, the third one. Okay. So anyway, he told me, he immediately went through my head, did Ginger kill himself? And I just started, and Todd didn't text me back for probably a good 5 minutes. And I had gloves on and stuff. I couldn't start Googling what happened to Ginger. And honestly, I was afraid to. I was afraid to find out Ginger Wildheart found dead or hanged in his apartment or his house or something. So he finally texted me back and said, and he sent me a link, or I think he sent me a link. He sent to this article on hotpress.com that says, fans reach out to Ginger Wildheart after he attempts suicide in Northern Ireland. The singer spent a night in the cells following a gig in Ballymena. I guess that's somewhere in Ireland, reading it before Forte. And they showed some of his Twitter things. The last Twitter post, one of his Twitter posts said, night in the cells, stranded alone in Ireland, Sunday fucking Sunday. So apparently what happened was he played a gig in Ireland, and something happened, and he got into a fight with somebody and ended up in jail. And apparently in jail, he tried to kill himself. According to his Twitter post, it's kind of unclear, but according to his Twitter post, he attempted suicide in jail, and he was, quote, fucking gutted to have failed. And it said, currently sectioned for who knows how long, my life has become unmanageable under medication. So this guy had been, and he just did a solo album, a kind of a folky country solo album called Ghost in the Tanglewood, and all of the songs were pretty much dealing with depression issues, and he just did a benefit thing for depression too. And Billy and I had been thinking, maybe what Ginger might be good to do is be a counselor to counsel people who are going through depression issues. So I sent Ginger a message and saying, please, man, I'm begging you, don't do this. A lot of people in this world care about you, not the least of which is me. Of course, I haven't heard back from him. Not dropping names or anything. I don't have his phone number. I do have his email. And I hardly speak to him at all since it's been several years since I played that gig in those gigs in LA with, hold on a second. Okay. Sorry, somebody came in. It's been several years since I did those gigs with him in LA, and I also got flown to England through donations of the Rock and Roll Geek friends and through Alex Oliver, friend of the Rock and Roll Geek show, Sleazy Rock and Roll, bathroomwall.co.uk T-shirts, and sent me down to play at Ginger's birthday party. And those were some of the best times of my life, and it was a dream come true for me to be sharing a stage with one of my rock idols, and the guy was just the greatest guy and such a true talent. So I think what I need to do is say a prayer to the rock and roll gods for the mental and physical health of Ginger Wildheart. So I'm going to put on The Man Who Cheated Death from Valor de Corazon. If you're a Dog Days participant and don't want to hear about this, please just fast forward or just delete this episode. But it's something I need to do. Friends of the Rock and Roll Geek Show, bow your heads with me. We're going to pray to the rock and roll gods. God, Ginger Wildheart, a.k.a. David Walls of the band The Wild Hearts, and the band Ginger Wildheart, is going through some tough times right now, God. As we all go through tough times, God, but you know how Ginger is one of the greatest songwriters in the world. And even if he wasn't, he's truly a good person, just going through problems. Get him out of this depression. Let him be happy again. When I was playing with him in LA, he was so happy and such a nice guy, and everything was so positive. Please let him get out of this darkness, rock and roll gods. I'm still hoping someday Ginger will ask me to play with him again. It'll be another dream come true. I always had this fantasy of being the Wild Hearts bass player. We need more great music from the great Ginger Wildheart God. Like this one, The Man Who Cheated Death. He's wrote so many songs about getting over your bad times and realizing how life will turn around. So listen to our prayer. Everybody of the Rock and Roll Geek Show, friends of the Rock and Roll Geek Show, we're all praying to the rock and roll gods for Ginger Wildheart. I'm being serious here, friends. May not sound it, but I am. In the name of rock and roll, in the name of all humanity, please, God, let Ginger pull out of this and let him be a healthy, happy man again. In rock and roll name, we pray. Amen. Okay. All right. With that being said, I'm going to end the show now with another Ginger song, a song that got me through many depressing times. I would put this song on, and it would make me feel good again. So thanks for listening, friends. We'll talk to you tomorrow with day 11 of the Dog Days of Podcasting. Here's a song called Forget About It from a record called 555%. And by the way, you know about Pledge Music, everybody? Ginger pretty much put Pledge Music on the map. And this was Ginger's very first Pledge Music album called 555%, named after, within a day, he had gotten over 5 times the amount of pledges he had hoped for to make his album. So And a lot of bands after that jumped on the Pledge Music bandwagon. So here is Forget About It. Thank you for listening to my rock and roll prayer, friends. And if Ginger, if you're listening, cheer up, man, please. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Oh, how about I turn it up? Okay. The unprofessionalism.
Life plays heavy on my mind. It's gonna kill me one dream at a time or so. It seems it might. It seems it might. Starts me from falling into sleep. I lie awake in waves so dark and deep. I pray my soul to keep. Once again you forget to remind yourself to just forget about it. Once again you forget to remind yourself to just forget about it. In playtime the waves are right for days, and when the moment seems that it could stay, I let my guard away. Then I'm easy prey. I pray to a God that there is a God only. I pray to a God to pave the road I'll take and show amazing grace. Once again you forget to remind yourself to just forget about it. Once again you forget to remind yourself to just forget about it. Once again you forget to remind yourself to just forget about it. Once again you forget to remind yourself to just forget about it. Once again you forget to remind yourself to just forget about it. Once again you forget to remind yourself to just forget about it. Once again you forget to remind yourself to just forget about it.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.